Hi, welcome back to our new video. Today I'll be demonstrating how to paint clouds. So let's go ahead and place in the blue part of the sky. So I'll take in some Prussian blue on my train texture brush. I've already coated the canvas with some white that is in acrylics. And let's go ahead and place in the action of sky. Now I would suggest you to make some variations in color, that is the shades, tones, saturation, all of that. So that's going to help a lot to create that variation and not make the sky look flat. So Prussian blue is a very vibrant blue. So look at that, the white on the canvas is making it lighter, which is good. And let me just go ahead one more time and blend all those things together, not leaving any brush marks, making it look very realistic. Let's go in the other direction also, so that it evens out the brush strokes and the paint on the canvas. Now I've taken in some white and just a touch of some red so that the color gets distinguished from the sky color, and some blue. And if you want, you may add in some more white and play around with the red. Okay, fair enough. I want it to be a bit lighter. Let's come right over here. Look at that. That almost acts like a grayish color, which is good. And since these are acrylics, I might leave the way they are because they dry a bit dull. Taking more of that color. I'm just gonna tapping it and skip some spots. That's the most important thing. I also make them a bit curved and don't want the clouds to have very sharp edges. Just darken that color a bit by 30%. Also getting the shape of those clouds is equally important. There we go, and some more cloud action right over here. So you can treat this as the blocking in part and later go back and do the detailings. Look at that. Since this is a demonstration of clouds, the sky will be full of clouds. And now let's take in some white on the detail round brush. Let's place it in right over there, some white, and leave a lot of those gaps. Almost adding a silver lining to those clouds. Skipping a lot of that. I'll show you why in a moment. Now at this point I will say that I'm doing this when the paint is wet, because we want that to get blended. Look at that, it's getting blended, and that is what we're looking for. Lots and lots of variations, and I'm being pretty loose over here while placing these. Taking some more thick paint, and let's place it right over there. Look at that. So the major factor which is going to play a very important role over here is the direction of the lighting. This is almost in a straight line, so to break that I'll take this like that. We don't want them to be symmetrical, we want them to be pretty random. That will automatically make it look very realistic and natural. Something over here too, slightly varying the thickness. Let me show you my palette. So it looks like that, pretty messy, but over here it's gonna look realistic. And let's place in some more over here real quick before it dries. If you're painting this type of a sky, you may add in some blue to the silver lining. So the reason to skip some of those spots is to create some variation and a lot of breaks, and don't want them to be in one single texture. That means to say there will be no texture. So we are looking for a lot of textures on these clouds. So we are going to have some breaks. Look at that. I'm just going to tap it, not exactly on those strokes, but just a bit. And the advantage over here when I'm painting in acrylics is that when the paint is tacky, it's easy to blend and to retain the texture. Whereas if you're painting in oils, if you're applying this type of a pressure, it'll get completely blended. So it depends. But the technique is more or less the same. The blending process is different. And same thing with watercolors. But if I were to paint this on a watercolor paper, then it wouldn't work this smooth. And so now we'll go with another coat of silver lining. This time very little. You may add in some yellow, lime yellow or even yellow ochre, but make sure this is completely dry. You may wait for 2-3 days and then go ahead with that shine with yellow But since I'm not using yellow, I can go ahead now itself and paint. And I find this a bit interesting. So let's go ahead and paint over here. Look at that. A lot of those cracks and gaps on those soft clouds. Let's try to blend them then and there itself and make them brighter in the name of silver lining. Look at that. Turn the brush. But make sure when you're painting the underpainting of each cloud, it should be different. Slightly darker than the sky. I would suggest you to paint that slightly darker than the sky. That is, over here it's blue, so I had to take some purplish tone so that it gets distinguished and it'll get a bit darker. And if you feel that the paint is too thick on the brush or on the canvas after applying it, you can just go ahead and blend it slightly. Like for instance over here, you may just go ahead and tap it, not blending it the way we blend skin tones on a portrait. That's not the way it's going to work here. Just going to tap it because we want some textures. And don't want everything to be equally bright, and we don't want everything to be equally textured. Then that there's no point in applying the texture, right? More of highlight over there than textures. And blur the bottom of those clouds. That will in turn make it look even more realistic and natural. So now to have some variety, I've taken in some yellow ochre and some white. Let's go over here and just drop in some of that. Now I wouldn't say that this is completely dry. And another trick over here is to add in some red along with that yellow. Look at that, just like that, add in a touch of red, it turns pink, add in some yellow ochre. It almost makes it orange, but we get that warmth on the clouds. And make sure not to blend too much into that blue. Well, if you're painting an evening sky, you may translate this technique into your landscape, or only the sky, like how I'm painting now. I'm just gonna tap it, make sure it's a clean finger. I'm just gonna tap it. Okay, something about like that. And I feel this cloud also needs some highlight. Just tapping it. So with one single brush, we can do a lot of these tasks. So I've just used this detailed round brush. You may even make use of the rigger brush. That also works equally good. Added some white. Don't need to be in one single color anyway. Bit over here and there. Adding in some interest and some textures. Just gonna tap it. Just gonna tap them very lightly. Just a bit. Not much of texture there. Just to add in some more interest and not to leave it blank. And over here we'll add in more of these cloud action. Maybe these will be very blended and very misty. Look at that, in one sky we have lots and lots of varieties of clouds, different color, different textures, different warmth, different lighting, that is yellow and white. That makes your painting look beautiful. With this, I come to the end of this tutorial. I hope you have enjoyed it. Subscribe my channel if you haven't, and also smash the like button if you have liked this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.